Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Love and the Scriptures. There are technical difficulties that are occurring that are being worked out. Um, I'm not a techie. Let me put that up front right now. Maybe I said it before. Maybe I should have said it before. I'm not technically inclined in any form or fashion, and so I learn on the fly. With what happened on last week and what is occurring on this week, there are technical issues that I'm learning to get to work through. And so I'm actually on my cellular device tonight. And so I've understood that turning the camera sideways actually gets a fuller screen. However, it looks pretty limited to me on the top and on the bottom. And so I hope the volume is clear, that you're able to hear me tonight. And I hope that the video is clear, that you are able to see me on tonight. Um, and I can't see any space of feedback or anything like that. So I'm just going to go with and for what I know. Interestingly, we have things that are occurring, have occurred with us in our national media that will inform and influence some of the ideas that we are going to work in and work around and work through tonight in terms of love and the scriptures. Um, I want to say again, let me apologize for whatever of what is happening technically tonight that is going to be challenging for us. Um, this is last day of we're the day before the last day of school, and haven't had a lot of time to do great preparation, especially in terms of figuring out these technical issues. But school is out tomorrow, at least the last day with students is tomorrow. And so I'm going to have time and I'm going to have the ability. Yes, I know the top of my head is cut off. I was trying to figure out or determine. Maybe let me turn the camera this way. I don't like how that looks because it gives me a limited field of view. Um, I don't know what to do. Y'all, please excuse this. I'm saying to us, I am learning on the fly what to do in terms of how to do best with presentation um on these platforms. Um I'm a newbie to this stuff. My sister has told me that I need to get get with it on the social media platforms. And of course, Brother Marcus is encouraging and influencing and inspiring the same thing with me. I don't know what to do with this phone to make this camera better. I'm working to do that. And what may have to happen, I'm going to have to beg you all's pardon and just go with what we have, since I am on on my cellular device instead of on a camera on my laptop. Um, let me try. Let me try one more thing and just see. Uh, that won't work. Okay, so I my apologies to you. I beg your pardon, sisters and brothers, that this camera issue is what it is. Um, my guess maybe if I didn't have such a big head, uh, face level. Um, okay, I'm not sure what that means, but hopefully this is that face level. I'm not sure it is. I hope that's what that is. All right, I'm gonna proceed, and please, ma'am, please, sir, don't let um this ineptitude, my ineptitude with working with these devices, to pull from and distract from where we are and what we will be doing on tonight. Loving the scriptures, and we're gonna be um two ideas of the four concepts of love that we understand from the scriptures. Of course, um, Storge is one of those. Storge has to do with the familial, the love that is experienced and expressed to those that we are fondly, that we have fond affection for, to those that we are related to in whatever way that may be, especially familial, as it comes to family and the familial type. And then there is what is understood as phileo, love. It is philia, that its root word is where we get our city, or at least the city in the United States in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, philia or phileo, um, as it's translated for us in the New Testament, is that love, literally nickname of the city, Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. And so that has to do with a comradeship. It has to do with that type of connection that you have with somebody, whether it's a cause, whether it's a purpose, whether it's a philosophy that you have joined in and that you fight for, you support. It's what armies are gathered in, especially when you have seen historically, you've seen movies like 300 and movies like Braveheart. Those kinds of armies, in that sense, especially historically, banded themselves around a cause, and you would see them fight so fiercely and ferociously because of the cause that they were banded together in. And interestingly, we see the idea of, of this same kind of idea about a cause to fight for very early in the scriptures. It's way back in the Old Testament. Samuel is telling the story of the young David, whose brothers are all in the army. His father, he's the youngest, David is at this time, but his father Jesse sends him with food for his brothers. They're on the battlefield, and as the young David, 12, 13 years old at the time, carries the provisions that his father has sent him with for his brothers, the young David hears the giant Goliath, who is taunting the armies of the Lord. And as the young David goes into the field and sees these big, huge, older men than himself are hunkered down and hiding, and nobody's answering the threat that is being made by Goliath. Goliath is threatening, listen to the language, the armies of the Lord. And that's how David brings it out. He first asks, who is this uncircumcised Philistine who dares to defy the armies of the Lord? That's the question that he has for his brothers and the other soldiers of Israel who are out there, because with all of the threats that are being breathed and hurled by Goliath to the army of Israel, no one has stood up and answered the challenge. No one has taken up to respond to the threats. And then David utters these words: is there not a cause to fight? It is that idea that he expresses there about a cause to fight is what philia, love, is actually based on. It is where individuals have grouped themselves around a cause, around something, a principle, an idea that they believe in. And so they join themselves together in that. I want for us, and Storge is where I really want to land, but these two ideas I want to walk through, because as we are where we are literally today, we are seeing the issues of philia and storge play out in national and international events among us. Let me get this pulled up for us. And as we are seeing these things occur, there are questions, I think, that need to be looked at, that need to be addressed. And there are ways that as people of the scriptures, and at least from the worldview of the scriptures, there are ways that we should be seeing what is happening, and there are responses from us. Dare I even say that there are responses required from us as people of God. PHI. Okay, and so when it comes to this philia, love in that sense, the brotherly love, obviously, with what we have walked through to this point in talking about love, that is something that should be not only apparent and present among the people of God, but it is something that should be prevalent among the people of God. We talked last time about love as a baseline, that is the place where we operate as the people of God. But what is under that as foundation? Christine asked the question last time: is baseline and foundation the same thing? And what I wanted to convey to us is that under that place of operating, under that place of the baseline where we operate is where phileo and where storge should actually be in us already, because we are the people of God, because we are children of God. Then that love for people, of course, those who we are related to, those who are in our concentric circle of contact, those who are in our family, that should be an intact. That should be a part of us that is who we are already. And then even storge should be the same kind of love that is already a part of who we are, so that as we meet people, let me back up again and say this much: that as the people of God, that the choice for love is because love is our ethic. All right. And so that it influences, it comes from who we actually are. So that for us, we are not caught off guard. We are not put in with our back against the wall when it comes to situations that are offensive, or situations that are negative towards us, because the store of love that's in us, because the base of love that is in us has formed a foundation of love, so that when we meet people on the street, when we greet people wherever we are, that love is the baseline of where our interaction, where the activity with all people actually comes from. It is that baseline of love. So let me take this. Phileo, it's brotherly love. Let me read this. This type of love is most often shown with close friendships. This is a generous and affectionate love that seeks to make the other person happy with no expectation for the acts of kindness to be returned. Now, don't mistake that for love when it even says affection there, and making the other person happy. This is not in a romantic sense. This is not in the eros sense of love. This is what is called brotherly love. And so this, in terms of generous and affectionate love, those who are close to us, those who are we are in a relationship with, there is an affection that is involved in that. And the seeking to make them happy has to do with a love in terms of accountability. It's doing right by people. It's doing what you're supposed to do. It's what Jesus talks about, that we ultimately term the golden rule. It is doing unto others the way or what you would have them to do to you. It's the human kindness. As I was thinking about tonight, a line from Bette Midler's song from Beaches talks about human kindness is overflowing. Of course, the next part of the line is, I think it's going to rain today. But the idea just about a basic human kindness, that is how brotherly love, phileo, actually presents itself as we are dealing with others around us, those who we are connected and related to. One of the friendships that we see, or brotherhoods that we see, phileo, an Old Testament concept where phileo, which phileo is a New Testament word, but the concept of it is seen with David and Jonathan in their brotherhood, in their friendship. They were brothers who literally, genuinely cared for each other, loved each other, looked out for each other, to the point where Jonathan makes a covenant with David, and Jonathan stands with David in the time when his father, Jonathan's father, is trying to get rid of David. But that kind of phileo, that brotherly love, is demonstrated in the relationship that they have. It's a love shown toward people we feel warm and affectionate to. This means that there are people that are not in our best interests. There are people that have worked against us. There are people that we just do not like. Brotherly love does not encompass, in terms of definition, any type of feeling or affection to them. But watch this. But that doesn't give us any kind of freedom or reason or license to not like anybody, to hate anybody, because for we who are children of God, even though phileo is supposed to be and should be in our foundation so that we can operate out of a baseline of love to them, even if there are people that are outside of what we consider the realm or bounds of phileo, agape is in us as well. And this is the love that Jesus and the rest of the New Testament urges all of his followers, all of those who believe in him, are urged to live, to demonstrate agape, or as we know it mostly, agape love. And agape is a whole separate category. I didn't mean to bring this in here at this point, but I wanted to make that distinction that there are some people, even in as we are believers, there's some people that the way they are with us, that they get right to that edge of our level of love. Whether it's phileo or Storge, they get right to that edge, and it takes a whole lot of Jesus. It takes a whole lot of us moving beyond ourselves to actually um, be in the way of love that God intends for us with those kinds of people. And that is where agape love comes in. For the rest of the people around us, for the rest of the people that we are in relationship, it is phileo. And that, watch how I'm doing this from the text that we talked about last week from First John. Um, that is where our baseline of love is. The store of love, being people of love, comes because we have cultivated and developed a healthy layer of phileo, which is brotherly love, a healthy level of storge, which is comrade love, or let me rename that cause, because it is us joining together in things that we support together. Those are the storehouses. Those are the foundational pieces and kinds of love that builds our baseline, um, to where at the level that we meet people, this is who they should meet us as. This is how we should meet them. A little more on phileo next time. This time is going very fast tonight, and more exploratory into Storge love on next time. Thank you so much for joining. Let me apologize again for all of the technical snafus that, or maybe technical issues that occurred. Get them worked out on next time. Blessings on you tonight. See you next week.